Carlos to the vet. Getting his dick cut off.
I know.
Yeah. Time to get neutered, dickhead.
It's a sad day.
I'm sure you had to get a dog fixed before, like a male dog. Yeah, they said like this is my first time doing it. I've always had female dogs, except for Noodle, but Noodle can never get fixed because of his balls never like fully dropped, so it was like incredibly expensive to do it. They said like to lower the food intake by like 25 or 30%, because I guess metabolism slows down.
Hmm.
Well,
I remember, to be honest. That was 14 years ago now.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been sitting around watching Full Swing today. Getting ready for
Is the new one out?
No, I'm just rewatching last season's. The new one comes out like beginning of March, I think.
Oh. What up?
Fellas?
Fresh shower?
Fresh shower, yep.
Tell. Hey, I like the merch. The merch looks good.
Yeah, hopefully.
Dude, the Stone furniture stuff.
Yeah, that stuff looks great. There's definitely some traction with the boys here that want to that stuff. I think that'll be. I'm talking about the hat specifically. I mean the shirts. The shirts are the shirts, but the hats specifically. I know guys are like, yeah, let's do them.
Sweet.
So,
yeah, I gotta get it.
I'm up icing myself today, by the way.
Jesus, dude.
It's my Saturday, man. I get to enjoy it.
You ice yourself? Is that enjoying it?
Like,
I'd love to.
Carolyn just texted me like out of the fucking blue. Head of marketing, University of Maryland.
Like Krabby.
Jack Krabby, yeah, he's at Kissling's right now.
Oh yeah, getting chicken wings for $800.
Yeah, apparently they've just jacked up their prices. From what I've been told, I don't really know.
Wings are expensive these days. It sucks.
After the Super Bowl, they should drop down now, because I know the price of wings went up. It skyrockets during Super Bowl.
Really? I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, don't quote me on the exact numbers, but I want to say it goes up almost like 30%, 30 or 40% for cases of wings, which usually cases of wings are about 4 bags, however many are a bag. And it's price gouging. It's pure price gouging. What's the trivia question topic? Is it football? Is it golf? Is it?
It's baseball. Baseball.
Well,
Baseball.
all right. Somebody want to fire off the start of this bad boy?
Yeah, you can guys. I feel like shit today.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture. We're gonna hit a couple topics today, mainly baseball. Now that it's baseball season, now that football is over, we're also going to touch on a bunch of golf. We were hoping that Dusty would win another bet. That way, we could really get some traction on the betting side of things. But I guess we're going to start off with spring training, and spring training is here. First question I have, and it's not even on our rundown sheet, is: have you heard the shit about these new jerseys that baseball's dealing with?
Yeah, I've seen a little bit about it. It seems like players are like hate them. They said they feel super cheap. Other than that, I haven't looked into it like a ton. I just figured it was kind of one of those things that would be resolved in spring training and wouldn't be that big of a deal going into the season. What do you guys, have you seen anything that indicates otherwise?
I know Rob Manfred was asked this question directly about, are these specifically for spring training or are they for the full season? And he didn't have a good answer. And I'm going to paraphrase, but basically he just sidestepped the question. The thing the players don't like is the name on the back of the jersey for the teams that do have names is much smaller. It's like almost like a screen print. It looks cheap as shit. And hey, look, these are performance-based uniforms. And I think is Nike the jersey maker now?
Yeah, but I mean, they've been
really
doing it
don't
the
know.
last couple of years. I don't know what this new thing is. But yes.
Either way, it looks really bad. It's a bad look for baseball. The players are complaining about the jerseys being cheap. Come on. It's professional baseball. Let's get there's so much money in the sport. Let's get some jerseys that these players feel comfortable wearing.
Well, like you said about Manfred, like, I mean, what else is new? All he does is sidestep these questions, like him calling the World Series trophy just a piece of metal, and that guy's been a moron since he's joined. He should have stuck with Under Armour for the jerseys after they pulled out with them. But I mean,
Actually, news on Manfred. Yeah, sorry, keep going, Brooks. I mean to just cut you off there.
No, I was just gonna say Nike's been doing it. I thought Nike's been doing it the last couple of years, the jerseys. So I don't know what's different, or if they're just trying something new, or like you said, maybe this is just spring training. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they get it sorted out before the season starts. What I was about to say was Manfred announced the day that the end of his contract is 2029. That's going to be it for him. He's going to retire. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I don't know if that's good or bad news. Obviously, I think a lot of people have problems with, just in general, have problems with a lot of commissioners in modern sports. But they're really just a scapegoat for the owners, kind of implement what they want. It feels like. I don't know. You guys have any thoughts on that, or something we don't really need to?
I think he's been basically a figurehead commissioner. You see people like Silver who have really embraced the players, embraced teams. I mean, Adam Silver came in with a bang. I mean, he had to deal with the Donald Sterling stuff like right away. Manfred just seems like he has no touch or feel for the game. I mean, he was sidestepping questions about the baseball when they thought the baseball might be lighter, so we could give more trajectory and stuff like that. But I really think I'm happy he's leaving. I'm happy he's leaving, and I would like to see who the new commissioner would be, because normally the way this goes in terms of commissioner stuff is it's like whoever like their sidekick as the right hand man takes over. See Roger Goodell, he was Paul Tagliabue's right hand man. See Rob Manfred, he was Bud Seliger's right hand man. I'd love to see some fresh blood. I mean, I'm going to throw something really crazy out there, like a fucking Bob Costas. I know that's stupid, but something that has baseball knowledge, but isn't so in tune with the previous regime. That would be where I would go. And I'm throwing Bob Costas out there because he's a baseball mind. But fuck Joe Buck. You know what? I mean, his father.
Yeah, I mean, he did bring in the pitch clock, which was very controversial there for a while, but I love it. I think it was a great move. Coming from an ex-pitcher where all the pitchers were pissed about it, I'm 100% on board with it. It just makes the game more enjoyable to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't really have much good to say about Manfred, but I mean, I'll give him props on that.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
Manfred's more. He changed the game in regards to that, and I'll give him 100%. That it really did. It's for the better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if that's the legacy he leaves, I mean, I think that's as good as you can do for what he took over. Baseball was in a pretty rough spot when he took over, but it's coming back. It's coming back, and we're baseball guys. We love it. Speaking of baseball, we got to talk about the Orioles. Bradish, got some Bradish news this last week. That's pretty scary. He's got a UCL sprain. It's a similar thing to what happened to Batista. He got the PRP shot, which means that the doctors are seeing like good signs. Maybe that, he won't have to get Tommy John. He'll just be able to kind of rest and rehab it. But any UCL injury, especially when it's one of your best pitchers, it's really scary. And it sucks. What do you guys have any immediate thoughts other than this sucks?
First question I had was, how old is Bradish? And I haven't looked it up, so I'm coming in from asking the question. I'm coming in unknowledgeable in this one. How old is he? Is this really going to affect him long term?
Al Bradish is born in 1996. He was 28.
Okay.
Or he's 27. He'll be 28 later this year.
Yeah, I mean,
So
with our knowledge, whenever there's something going on with the UCL in terms of like a sprain, I mean, it's like a 90% chance he's probably going to end up getting surgery. A sprain is still a tear in a sense; it's just a very minor one. So,
yeah,
I mean, he's still throwing. I mean, we all saw him doing a little throwing program and everything like that. But I mean, I'm not as scared because we're not as fixated on one pitcher now. We're not so one dimensional like we have been for the past 30 years. So I'm not terribly worried about it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him this year.
Yeah, it's scary. Elias also talked about Means going to be, he said, basically a month behind schedule. He's got flare-ups in his elbow. It's just, those are our two of our top couple starters. It's scary. We're all excited about Corbin Burns, and he's still, he's there and he's healthy, but it's really tough getting that news coming like in our first day of spring training. Everyone in Baltimore, all the Orioles fans are on such a high. The team just got sold. We just traded for Corbin Burns, and then all of a sudden, Bradish might be out for the year. John Means is a month behind schedule, and he seems to be, routinely hurt.
Gunner's oblique.
And yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily scary for the early part of the season because I think we're talented enough and we will get by, but it's scary for the playoffs because if you make the playoffs, especially with these freaking teams out in the West, and I mean, Texas and Houston are not going anywhere in the AL. I don't know how we can match up without guys like Bradish and Means if they can't stay healthy. And Means is a less stressful injury, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's a comfortable thing to say that, like, I think we're going to win a lot of games, but we now have the question of do it in the playoffs. Kind of like we did with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I'm not switching over to the Ravens. We don't match up well starting pitching wise without those two guys in the rotation. So if there is a Mike Clevenger out there, if there is a Trevor Bauer, and we can get that, because these short series, anything can fucking happen, as we saw last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think Wells is going to come in and take up a lot of those innings, which is great. I mean, I think we were talking in the group chat, like he was probably our best pitcher in the first half of last year. In terms of, I mean, he almost made the All-Star game, probably should have, maybe. But yeah, I think we've all seen that we're going to probably stay aggressive getting a starting pitcher, and who knows what's coming up. I don't know what's coming up from the minors in terms of maybe somebody has a breakout here early on that we can bring up, or I'm not sure.
We still have Irvin too. He can eat some innings. He's not great, but serviceable.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where having this good farm system is really going to come in handy if we can go out and get somebody.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I've seen we've already picked up a couple just no-name guys just to fill in, and maybe we'll get a Cano out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
100%. Cano, we thought was kind of a throw-in to that trade, and he ended up being our best reliever last year.
Yeah. For the first time in a long time, I can say I'm actually confident in the Orioles management doing something correct.
Yeah, it feels good.
Which is nice.
Yeah. It looks like it came out today. Bob Nightingale reported with USA Today that we are the early favorites to get the 2029 All-Star game hosting it in Baltimore. Hopefully we're all still alive in 2029. It seems like forever away. It doesn't even seem like a real year. Yeah, it'd be awesome. I personally, I'd never been able to watch a home All-Star game. I think the last time was in '93. I was born in '94, so I've been me and Brooks and I have been to several All-Star games, but it would be super special to go to one in our hometown.
Yeah, I think the closest we got DC.
Yeah,
I mean, that was obviously not our home.
Yeah, it's in
hometown
2026, I believe.
Philly in 26.
Yeah.
It seems like they've announced the next couple already, which is something they never used to do, but I guess I think there's
something very interesting. They might cancel the All-Star game in 2028 because of the Olympics and
Summer Olympics.
Summer Olympics, they have Major League Baseball players play in the games. And if they do that, they would shut down. And this is just complete.
That would be awesome.
They would shut down, and instead of doing an all-star game, they would have the baseball player, the all-stars play in the Olympics for those 6 or 8 days of the all-star break.
That would be amazing.
Like 5 days, but
yeah,
they condense it. That would be so sick. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would, I mean, talk about like growing the sport. That would freaking grow the sport right there. I mean, I know we have the World Baseball Classic, which is growing, which is awesome. We all love that. But I mean, now we actually get the Olympics and not having some minor league dudes playing in it. And
yeah.
So
this down later in the rundown, but I mean, now we're talking about all-star games. Last night was NBA all-star game. 400 points. It was a complete joke. It's a total joke. All-star games in general have gone completely downhill. I actually wrote this down. Do we think all-star games are just kind of like, have they been passed by? I think the MLB All-Star Game is the only one that's really like semi-competitive every year. What do you guys think about just All-Star Games in general in 2024?
Get rid of them. I think skills competitions are way better. The 3-point shooting competition, like I love the Sabrina Rescue or Steph Curry thing. Skills competitions in hockey are really cool, where they're like hopping pucks over like, obstacles, put them in little goals and stuff. Get rid of All-Star Games. They're worthless. And baseball probably has the best one. And it's still kind of a joke anyway.
Yeah, it's a celebration. It's a celebration of the talent, but nobody takes it serious, nor should they. I would want to get hurt during one of those. You're gonna have to really up the ante to get these guys to really try in these things, and I don't blame them. I mean, but I mean, like you said, Brian, I like the skills competition stuff because you can still like get warmed up and be competitive with stuff like that and not have to like put your body too much on the line. And so, I mean, let's just turn it more into a celebration of these guys are like the all-stars. Let's go see them do some cool stuff.
The only reason you won't see them really go away officially is because some of these guys' contracts, their incentives are based on making all-star teams and stuff, things of that nature. Really, the NBA, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. We grew up going to the All-Star game every year, me and Brooks, and it was so awesome seeing like the different cities rally. Seeing the different cities rally around their players, and the players used to play so hard. Guys getting their first chance to play in a national spotlight, and it just seems like now the world has kind of passed All-Star games by, and it is sad, but it's the world we live in now. So I think these sports leagues are going to have to make adjustments based on that.
I mean, pose the question. I mean, would you rather, if you had one ticket, you can only get one ticket, would you rather go to the All-Star game or the Home Run Derby?
Derby.
Home Run Derby, not even close.
I'm going to the Derby.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I always think of, when I think of All-Star games, I think of injuries. I think of Pete Rose plowing Ray Fosse, a catcher, at home plate. And Ray Fosse was never the same.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you put your career on the line, your livelihood, your family on the line for a fucking All-Star game? Nothing.
Yeah. Remember there was a Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor absolutely destroyed the punter in the Pro Bowl one year. And after the game, they asked him about it, and he was just like, I play total whistle. I don't give a shit if it's an All-Star game.
I mean, that was what, early 2000s or late 90s?
I mean, he smoked
that.
Might have been the same game Drew Brees tore his fucking rotator cuff and like walked off the field. Yes.
Speaking of All-Star games, now that I'm kind of thinking about it a little bit more, this is kind of even more exciting to me now with Baltimore being the favorite, because that means that we probably had to submit some kind of ideas or plans to really upgrade around the stadium and stuff like that.
Without a doubt.
100%.
Which is awesome, because I mean the only thing that we've done to that stadium, I don't think we should do a ton to it, but is close off the outfield with the hotels. I mean, let's and put the deck out in center field, but I think there's a lot more that could really do some cool stuff around the stadium.
Yeah, don't change the bones of the stadium, but add stuff around there. Spend some money on the surrounding area. That's a big deal.
And you would make an All-Star Village or something like that, where you'd have a bunch of vendors and stuff of that nature around, and would support a ton of local businesses.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I agree. That fires me up.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Do we like the orange hats? I know Dustin has the all orange look. I think the orange hat could look good with the black jersey. Obviously, it's a spring training hat. They're not going to wear it during the season, but except for batting practice. But I don't know. I thought about buying one. I thought it looked kind of cool at first. I don't like the orange on orange look for sure, but I think it could look good, pretty cool with a black jersey or something.
Yeah, with the black jersey, they'll be fine. But I mean, right now they look like a bunch of fucking street cones. So
I'm going the opposite way on this, guys. I think we should go back to the 70s, get orange pants, orange jerseys, get orange belts, everything. I want orange out.
Dude, it's hard to watch like baseball players wear anything other than white or gray. To me, it just looks like a softball team when they do that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. There's some old school jerseys that it looks good on, but for the most part, white pants at home, gray pants on the road, and do whatever you want with the jerseys and the hats. But you guys want to? Did you guys want to move on to the Ravens or golf? What do you guys want to talk about?
I want to hit golf. Golf had a weekend, man.
Yeah, crazy shit.
Dusty, this is your cup of tea. So you fire away with this one, man.
Yeah, I was off work this weekend. We were closed, so I got to watch a lot of this tournament. I'm also probably, if not the biggest, I'm one of the biggest Tiger Woods fans in the world. And it was his first round back of golf since the Masters last year. He's played in some, hit and giggle tournaments, but this is the first real action we've seen him in. And to be honest with you, he looked pretty good on the first day. He made a lot of birdies, but he just could not make putts. He could not get up and down. I think he was like 1 out of 6 out of the sand on day one in sand. And that's just one of those things that comes with time. Those field shots around the green, you need to play to get those locked in and dialed in.
We got to remember he's playing on one leg too still.
He's playing on one leg. No, man.
Same.
He had the flu, apparently. So he had to withdraw halfway through second. He was getting carted off. Everyone's, terrified. There's paramedics outside of the clubhouse. It just turns out he was dehydrated. Yeah, I think Brooks is a little under the weather right now. I think Tiger gave him a flu. They hooked him up to an IV in the clubhouse. Apparently, he started feeling like way better immediately. They took him to the hospital. He had the flu. He got all that stuff done, and he's going to be fine. He'll be playing next month. It just sucks to see him get carted off in his first round back. Especially when he's the host of the tournament. All the cameras are on him.
Yeah, I saw Hideki was like, the only thing that could have been better is I could have got to take a picture of Tiger at the end.
Hideki Matsuhuman. I always call him Hideki Matsuhuman.
Yes. I mean, that guy just could not miss on Sunday. He was I think he was 15th going into Sunday. He was 10 groups off the leaders, and he just went out there, shot 62, and just completely took the tournament by the balls. Cantlay looked like a world beater his first 2 days. I think he was going into Saturday. He was in the lead by 5 strokes, which is ridiculous. He just came in and he shot 70, 72, which aren't bad scores. But, you're trying to win a golf tournament against the best players in the world. You got to be better than that.
Also, apparently he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he's tough to like.
What player to say? He's a douche.
He's tough to like.
He's a tough guy to like. He plays really slow. He takes forever to putt. Interestingly enough, Xander Schauffele and him are best friends. They're super tight, and they played together in the final round. So I wasn't sure if that was going to help or hurt either of them. Schauffele kind of always melts down on Sunday, and I think he shot even par. He came in 6th, which is what he does. But what I really want to talk about is this freaking Spieth DQ. It is fucking 2024.
What a great tweet. What a great tweet.
It's 2024. It is not 1905. Old Tom Morris is not hitting the fucking golf ball anymore. We've got scoreboards all over the place at every major tournament in golf, and these guys have to fill out their own fucking scorecard. It's absolutely ridiculous. It is the most outdated rule in sports. Whatever. You guys take over before I go crazy.
I can feel my blood pressure rising for you. My face is getting redder. I can see it.
Drives me nuts.
This is best in sell and buy or sell.
I can't sell it enough. Can you tell I had a little bit of money on Jordan Spieth, who was, by the way, in the top 5 when this happened? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, think about the money he just lost.
Well, yeah, all the money he just lost. I mean, just like I wrote this in the notes. Imagine if basketball players had to say, "Yeah, I made 7 out of 8 threes every game." They had to score off on the box score. It's ridiculous. Like, yeah, I had 3 hits. I had one of them went over the right fielder's head. It's insane. There's scorecards all around the golf course. They're keeping score for you. This rule. He said that he went into the scores knowing that this might have been an issue. He tried to fix it, and then he stepped out of the scores thinking that it was fixed. And it was. Like, what do you want him to do? I just don't understand. You guys, what do you guys think?
Stupid. I mean,
I want to bring something up real quick. Do you have a scrunchie in your left hand? What the hell is that?
I have a
You got a hair tie?
I have a hair tie in my. I've been messing with it when I get angry.
Dusty's got that surfer bro flow. He's got to keep in.
Oh yeah, the lettuce, buddy.
Oh, I didn't even got to show you guys. I got my Fuji shirt on. I don't know if you guys will be able to see Shintaro Fujinami. This is my opening day. This is my opening tire. Unfortunately, he's on the Mets now.
I mean, absolutely fucking ridiculous that they still do this old archaic bullshit. I mean, come on, let's go.
If you're gonna do this at like the Masters or something where everything's like old school in general. We don't need to do this.
One tournament a year. Yeah,
we don't need to do this every tournament. Like, and honestly, it's just tempting people to cheat in a sense. I mean, you sit there and you have your scorecard and it's one less than whatever the board shows, and you're like, yeah, I mean, I'm correct. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no winning here. There's only losing. I don't understand why this happens.
I guess golf has kind of made a little bit of a headway on this. So they got rid of like where people could call in and see if like a guy moved the ball or something. Like people that were watching on TV could like see if a guy moved the ball or something.
Yeah.
So they at least make some, but they got to get rid of this rule. It's so stupid.
It's so stupid, and it's so. I understand. In 1912, you don't have cameras on every shot, and you're not this much money going into every shot. But people are gambling on this all over the world. People are like Jordan Spieth's sponsors are monitoring this. Like his potential sponsors, he could have lost a potential sponsor because he didn't finish this tournament. I mean, it's Jordan Spieth; he's fine, but it's just imagine if this happened to some no name that you never heard of.
It probably
he's
does
in
happen.
4th place in the biggest tournament of his career. It's just this kind of thing. It's good probably that it did happen because it brings to light the issue. But it sucks for Jordan Spieth, and it sucks, this week that we didn't get to see, we didn't get to see him. I
mean,
finish out
I bet the live guys aren't doing this.
They're not, but also nobody's fucking watching them. So.
Well, I don't watch the WV. I'm not the WV guy.
Yeah, but I mean, I have to say, like, I mean, I get it. They don't have the eyes yet, but it's only a matter of time once all these big name guys like keep trickling, and you're sitting here watching the PGA, and there's nobody there, and you're clicking over or seeing online that like these big names like Koepka, DJ, everybody's at the top of Cam Smith's at the top of, or not Cam Smith, the other Smith.
Yeah, Cam Smith.
Yeah, Cam Smith. Is at the top of the leaderboards and live. I mean, the average fan is going to start trickling over there to watch these big names that they know. I mean,
Hey, look, I'm going to die on this. I'm going to die on this sword here. I can never do 3 rounds. You're wearing shorts and you're playing music. Come on, just play real fucking golf. What I grew up in. Now I know that's old school, but it's what we know. It's like changing baseball and only having 3 bases instead of home plate. We gotta come on.
Yeah, there's minor rules. There's battles you can pick with rules, but like,
but they're going to keep evolving. I think. I mean, who knows if this is going to keep the same layout format? But
I understand that. I actually been saying for years that they need to do more match play. It's crazy that they only do 1 match play tournament a year.
The players love it.
The players love it. If you go to European tour, they play match play once a month. I mean, they grow up match play over there. Most of the world does, and when you're playing with your friends, you're playing match play, you're playing skins, you're not playing stroke play every time. I mean, get a little diversity in the game. Let's get more fun. I mean, it's so much fun watching 2 guys, go head to head, matching each other's shots, and gives a shit what they shoot. You know what I mean? You're just playing against the other guy and not playing against the course anymore.
I agree.
And I think it'd be fun. Like, let's just do a match play between let's bring all the live guys and the PGA guys together, and let's just do match play. I don't think
100%.
that I don't think the live guys give a shit about the 4 rounds. I think they enjoy not playing as much in terms of like as many tournaments because so they get to see their family more and
Yeah.
they get the guaranteed money, obviously. But I just
Yeah.
I think we can send live to 4 rounds and keep the same everything that they have. Really, I could give a shit less about shorts, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Let the
Sure.
players make the decision if they want to wear
Or rompers. Who
or
cares?
put like, hey, if it's over 95 degrees, you can wear shorts. Give them the option or whatever it is.
Yeah, if you're playing in Houston in July, you're allowed to wear shorts. That's fine. I don't want anybody dehydrating on the course.
Yeah, who gives a shit? The only thing I'll disagree with Brooks on that one is I don't like that these live guys went to the live tour. And then when they were not allowed to play in certain other tournaments, they went to the live tour, one for the money. Phenomenal. Like, do you?
100%.
But then you're playing less golf. And Dustin Johnson specifically said he wanted to make more money and play less golf, but then bitch about not being able to get into other tournaments.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That means you want to play more golf. Like you can't.
Like, I mean, realistically, he just wants to play the majors, and
That's
which he will, and maybe like the one-off, like the RBC Heritage or something, whatever the big ones are that aren't the majors and the players. And
Yeah, he's gonna play the players. If he wants to play the players, probably
or Arnold Palmer or
race
something.
management.
Memorial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of Tiger's new clothing line that he revealed? I think there was a lot of internet hate for it. There was some people who liked it, not a lot of people who liked it. It seemed like most of the internet was negative about it. Do you guys like it? Dislike it? Don't care?
I didn't get a chance to see any of it really. I only saw him wear a white sweater. That's it with a logo, and that's all I got because he only played like 36 holes basically.
I don't mind the logo. I hate the name though.
Yeah, I think it's so weird that Sunday is 2 words.
Did you see the
Sunday
reasoning behind
red.
it? It's like
No, I didn't.
whoever the Harvard marketing team is that consulted on this was like, yeah, it's the power of threes. Like everything does better when you break things down into threes. And it's like, okay, well, what about like Jordan or Nike or Amazon or Apple or Google? Like,
what is this, it's a Gall movie? I mean, Gall's not he's like a 3 names.
I was like, can we call this Tiger or just Woods or something? Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Dogs.
I hate
what was going.
Hate the name, but yeah.
I thought Charlie.
Yeah. I thought the logo was kind of cool because they have, I saw this on, and I don't know if this is actually true or not, so I shouldn't speak like this is definitely it, but on Twitter, all the stripes on the Tiger come up to 18 or 19, whatever majors.
15, yeah. Because 15 stripes on the Tiger because he has 15 majors. And they said, what if you win another major? And he said, we'll just add a stripe.
Yeah. Make the tail
so
a little
just going
longer.
to change the logo, I guess.
Make the tail
it does suck.
longer.
The TW logo that I'm sure you guys have seen a million times, it sucks. He does own the rights to that. I think he doesn't own that, but he did say he's done with it. He's not going to be using that at all moving forward. It sucks a little bit, but whatever. At the end of the day, it's just what he's putting on his shirt. It's not, it didn't make him what he is. The player he is made him what he is.
This totally a give the Charlie ploy when he passes away.
Yeah.
It's hand me down to Charlie.
100%. Yeah. He can build this brand with his son. And that, like we said last week, I think that's the most important to him at this point.
It's like LeBron and, it's like LeBron wanting to play with Bronny James. He wants to pass something down to his son.
Good luck to LeBron for that. That guy's not getting drafted anytime in the next 5 years. So I don't know who the fuck he's going to play. He's going to maybe be playing in Germany with that guy, with his son.
I think he gets drafted in the second fucking round by some, like the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, and the Atlanta Hawks trying to make a play for LeBron.
Oh, and that's exactly.
No,
maybe. Who knows? Little Raven stuff. Not much, obviously. We're in the beginning of the offseason for football, but we did extend Nelson Aguilar for a year. I don't hate it. He's like our 4th or 5th receiver. He was pretty decent. I don't think it's moving the needle, but I don't mind having experienced vets on our team, especially if they're not going to be, making huge impacts. Do you guys want to talk about that anymore? I mean, we have some stuff about the sports, but a lot of the sports books are listing us as the favorites to win. Guys like Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Saipon Barkley. I think this, it could be it's one of those years where there's a lot of good free agents, and then there's even more guys that you could probably trade for that are on bigger contracts towards the end of their contracts, and teams are just kind of trying to dump. You think signing Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley would move the needle for us? Or you think there's other stuff we need to address first?
I mean, Saquon for sure. I mean, he can be a game changer.
Yeah.
I want to see where Keon Mitchell is coming off that injury.
Mitchell.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Because
I think he's going to
cheat with Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I mean, I think this could be something where Saquon just kind of mentors him until he gets back fully healed. But I mean, I don't know. Saquon's not that old, and I mean, he seems to be healthy. He just doesn't have anybody around him to fucking help him.
Yeah. Derrick Henry is amazing. He reminds me so much of Larry Johnson. If you remember him from the Kansas City Chiefs at Penn State. A lot of miles on those tires recently, not in college, but recently. And that scares the shit out of me.
Not somebody I want.
Saquon will be the play here, even though he's already had an ACL surgery, or maybe 2.
Yeah. I think if this is 2 years ago, we're all over Derrick Henry. I mean, the idea of Lamar playing with Derrick Henry in the same backfield, just running options the whole game. I mean, that would be terrifying. But yeah, I think we're looking at a 30-year-old Derrick Henry who's led the league in carries for the last, I don't know, however many years in a row. I think Saquon would be awesome. I think Kamara will be cool. He's getting a little older too. But I mean, I think if the NFL has taught us anything over the last couple of years, is that running backs don't really matter that much unless you are an elite guy. Like Christian McCaffrey makes a huge impact on that team. But for the most part, they're a dime a dozen. I mean, Bijan Robinson got drafted 8th overall, and what did he do this year? He looked great, but I mean, did he make a difference for the Falcons? They still don't have a quarterback. They
didn't give him the ball enough, is what everyone says.
Yeah.
What you mean? I don't know about that argument because we have a quarterback, so that running back can make a difference because we have it. The Falcons didn't have that option.
It depends on how much they're going to break the bank too, how much they're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the cap number. The cap's going to fluctuate a little bit with the cap going up. As it does every year. I think Derrick Henry is not a play. I think Saquon Barkley might be a play. Alvin Kamara, I think apparently is just an asshole. So I wouldn't want him around. Yeah. I kind of just want to stick with what we got. This Mitchell kid, I mean, he seems like the real deal.
And the only one we got coming back though.
I mean,
Dobbins is a free agent.
Okay.
So he's unrestricted free agent. He was in the last year of his deal. We got him in the second round, so we don't have an option to pick up. We don't have like a 5th-year option we pick up on him. So yeah, he's out. In all likelihood, he's kind of been talking shit about the Ravens since we didn't give him the ball in the playoffs in like his first or second year. So I can't imagine he'll be back.
Okay.
He doesn't like the training room there either.
No.
Yeah. I actually think Gus Edwards is also a free agent, so we're going to be losing a significant portion of our running backs. We're going to need something. I mean, whether you go in the draft or you go out and try to get a veteran.
What about Austin Sale? I mean, what's his situation?
He's back, I think.
He's back for another year. But it's Keaton Mitchell and Justice Hill are the only 2 guys on the team at this point. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I think Dalvin Cook's gone because he was only a 1-year contract that we picked him up on.
Yeah. I mean, you might need a hammer. If you lose Gus Edwards, you need a guy who's going to be, the sledgehammer. And it could be a Derrick Henry. I wouldn't like it, but it could be.
All right. Any other things you got? Actually, I have before we get into this, the other news, I have a little trivia question for you guys. Baseball related. Let's pull this up. So
Maryland still stinks, by the way. Maryland basketball.
Maryland basketball does still. So there have been 31 pitchers in MLB history that have 300 saves. Only 8, however, have 400 saves. Can you name 6 of the 8 pitchers that have 400 saves in their careers? 2 of them are pretty much gimmies. But yeah, if you guys need hints, I got a couple hints for you.
Are we
But you
tag
guys,
teaming
I
this?
got a couple here.
You guys can,
You want to tag
yeah,
team
you guys
this?
can.
All
Yeah,
right,
if you
so
guys
I'm
have
gonna-
names, you can start throwing them out now.
Trevor Hoffman,
Trevor Hoffman is one.
Mariano Rivera,
Mariano Rivera is one.
Lee Smith.
Lee Smith, former Oriole great, is number 3.
Those are the first 3 I wrote down.
Billy Wagner.
Billy Wagner is number 5 all time in saves. It is not in the Hall of Fame.
What? What the fair?
That's why that's top of mind, because he didn't get in again this year, and he's got over 400 saves. What are we doing?
So we've got 4 out of the 8 thus far. Shit, you guys might be able to run the table on this. Maybe I was going to give you 6 out of 8, but if you guys need hints, let me know.
I think there's going to be a lot that I'm just not going to remember, or they're going to be in the 300s, not the 400s. Papelbon? I don't think he had a number.
Papelbon is number 11 all time with 370 some saves.
Randy Myers.
Kimbrel's got to be getting close, right?
Randy Myers is number 14 with 347 saves. Kimbrel is actually an answer. I would say one. Got an Oriole. There you go. Craig Campbell reached 400 last year.
I was gonna say he's either close. He's either close or he's got it. I couldn't remember.
So you guys are missing 3 guys. One of them is active.
John Franco.
John Franco is another answer. Yeah,
Really?
absolutely. John Franco is number 5, 424 saves. So you guys are missing. You guys are missing 2. I will give you a hint. One of them is active, and one of them played for the Orioles.
Look me sideways.
Definitely 2 guys you're gonna know. Yeah, if you guys want to talk about other stuff, like
Yeah.
I watched.
Let me circle them.
I watched the last 10 minutes of the Terps Illinois game. We were in the game the whole time, but I think the announcer said at one point nobody scored on the Terps besides Reese, Young, and Scott for the last 10 minutes of this game. I was like, isn't that our fucking season in a nutshell? These are our 3 guys. I've been reading a lot of Terps Twitter recently. I think
Probably not a place you
somebody
want
was
to be.
making an argument. But I think general consensus, if Jameer Young was a 4-year player at Maryland, his jersey would be in the rafters. That guy's been that good this year. And it really sucks that we weren't able to put a team around him that really can compete. If we have competed, we lost, how many games by less than 5 points. It's just, it's so frustrating to watch them lose all these close games. It's so disheartening.
Oh, K-Rod,
former Oriole great Francisco Rodriguez is number 4 of all time in saves. He has 437 career saves.
I don't remember
still active, is he?
Yeah, I want to throw
He
it
is
out
not.
there.
There is one more player you haven't gotten, and he is active. And he did reach 400 saves last season. He went from a National League team to an American League team. His first season in the American League was last year.
I'm out, dude. I got nothing.
Got nothing? You want it, Brooks? You like it?
I'll let Brooksy soak on this. Because I'm out. I was watching Undeniable with Dan Patrick and Cal Ripken the other day. This really caught me off guard. Cal Ripken talked about how in 1993 he talked about maybe taking a day off. And I never heard this story before. And it really hit a note because Cal said he went to Rick Sutcliffe, of all people, and said, I'm thinking about taking the day off. I think Cal was batting like below 200 or something. Like he just needed like a reset. And Rick Sutcliffe goes, go ahead and do that. He goes, but you'll have to answer a ton of questions from the media, from your teammates. He goes, but also think about this. I'll fucking kill you.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cal told that story to Dan Patrick. That's a real thing that happened. Wow, that's freaking awesome.
Audience Network, when Audience, I guess, still existed. Yeah, there was undeniable. Was like the series. It's on YouTube. You can find it. Rick Sutcliffe was the guy who was like, "You keep going. You got to keep going."
Oh, let's go. Rick Sutcliffe, the mass hero of Baltimore.
Started the first game. At Camden Yards.
Yeah.
And then went into the front office.
Wow. I actually didn't know that.
Yep.
Piece of trivia.
Yeah.
Other news this week, Caitlin Clark breaks the women's basketball scoring record. She needs 99 points to pass Pistol Pete. That's the leading scorer in NCAA history. The basket she broke the record on was like almost a half court shot. Ridiculous. She had like 50 points in the game.
Pulled up from the logo.
She hasn't played a game in the WNBA, and she'd probably already be one of the best players in the WNBA. It's crazy what she's doing.
Two things about Caitlin Clark and women's basketball. One, question to you guys. Would you rather watch the men's basketball tournament this year or the women's basketball tournament? And then second, the Pistol Pete thing. Pistol Pete, I think, only played 3 years at LSU for his father, and he didn't have a 3-point line. And there's some nerd, I wish I could give him credit. Some guy went back and said that he would have like 600 or 700 more points based on where he got from if there was a 3-point line. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon. She's amazing. She's the best player in college sports, honestly.
100%.
I would rather watch the women's tournament if it was Iowa versus South Carolina or Iowa versus LSU, her and Angel Reese going against each other again. I'd watch that in a heartbeat. Men's basketball does nothing for me right now. I mean, men's college basketball does absolutely nothing.
It's tough to follow, especially when the Terps aren't very good. But yeah, it just seems like the last couple of years, it's just you can't get into college sports that much anymore because the teams are moving around, shifting so much. The players are all over the place. You have no idea who's playing where. I remember Brooks went to a game in Indiana, maybe like a month ago, and he texted me. I can't believe, can't even remember who it was, but he was a guy who used to play for the Terps, and he was on, Akeem Hart.
He's on Nova.
He's playing on Villanova. I had no idea. I wouldn't have been able to tell you that. It's just.
I thought he was. I thought he graduated, but he's there for his 5th year, his graduate year, and like I had no idea. I didn't see any news or anything that he was going there.
It's the annual jersey exchange. I mean, they're just changing jerseys now every single fucking year. It's worse than pro sports. I mean, pro sports, at least you have a contract that keeps you for a little bit of time. College now, it's year to year to year. And some of these college kids they should have their fucking doctorates. They're there for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah. Knicks played, I don't know how many college football games, probably like 100.
Yeah. And then they're smashing records. It's like, and also like with Caitlin Clark, she can stay another year. And I'm not shitting on Caitlin Clark. She can stay another year because of COVID. And she can she can absolutely obliterate the points record. She wanted to stay another year.
And if she wants to stay, why wouldn't she? She's going to make more money in college than she's going to make in the WNBA. There's no money in the WNBA.
The only thing, and then like Brooks said the other week, is like that the Indiana Fever is the NF Fever. They have the first pick.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be the ones that want to take Caitlin Clark. And that makes total sense because of the proximity.
But I've heard also that she's going to keep all of her major sponsorships anyway that she already has. So she's still going to make a ton of money.
So she's like, Gatorade.
Yeah.
Plus,
if she's going to keep all those sponsors, then she can go.
She'll probably pick up some local, like, I don't know, car dealership or something around here, or whatever else local businesses. So she'll probably end up making more money, but I mean, her fame's going to fall off pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah. It's like going to the WNBA is going to the Wizards. Like you just, it's where you die. It does. Name a WNBA player. Sabrina Ioannidis.
Elena Deladon.
And she's like taking time away now.
She's taking a leave. Yeah. They don't get nearly as much exposure. But anyway, Brooks, you got any answers to that trivia question, or you blanking. Active player, 400 saves last year. That would be Kenley Jansen, formerly Los Angeles Dodgers, now on the Boston Red Sox. I actually believe he might be a free agent. I don't think the Red Sox have him, so he's in his high 30s. He's been in the league for a long time.
He's the epitome of Ubaldo Jimenez. His whip's going up, his velocity is going down. There's no reason to touch that. He would be a good setup guy or an innings eater.
Yeah.
I would stay away from him right now.
Anthony Rendon.
Did you guys see that?
What? I mean, come on, man.
What a fucking clown that guy is.
You made so much money, and then you come out with a statement like that. Come on. Do a service to your team.
You guys haven't seen it. Anthony Rendon basically had an interview recently where he had an interview earlier this year, I believe, on Jonathan Applebaum's podcast, where he said he hates baseball. It's too long. It's boring. He had another interview that came out this morning. Basically said baseball is not his priority. He wants there to be less games. He doesn't want to play as much. He signed one of the most lucrative contracts in baseball. He's owed $114 million over the next 3 seasons, and he doesn't want to play. He hasn't played over the last couple of years. He's played in less than a third of his games. He's been terrible since he got the money from the Angels. He's basically a total piece of shit. You can complain about your job and disliking it. But when you're playing a children's game and you're making hundreds of millions of dollars, then you cannot complain about your fucking job. And he basically, look, he's got no loyalty to his team. His team is the city, his fans. I could not be more out on Anthony Rendon. You guys have anything to say about him?
I respect the man for taking care of his family, and
100%.
His family is his priority, his top priority, and there is
100% as it should be
whatsoever. But you can't come out and just basically tell your employer and the league that your employer is part of that you don't give a shit about the game when you wanted the money so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably going to go back and start investigating, was he actually hurt and couldn't play in these games?
Yep.
I mean,
yeah.
And
it's ugly.
Do I disagree with them that MLB would be probably a little better if there was less games? No. Probably a hot take for some people, but yeah, shut the hell up, man. I mean,
yeah.
As soon as he walks in that clubhouse, he's got no credibility. Everyone, at this point, the Angels should just cut ties because he's going to be a cancer at that point, and even if he tries to get the locker room back, nobody's going to respect him.
Yeah.
There's always going to be doubt in this teammate's mind. Okay, is he really hurt today, or does he just not feel bad?
And it sucks that he's been on the same team as 2 of the best players in the history of the sport. Even 2 generational players, Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. He's been on the same team as the last 3 years, and he's got nothing to show for it. He doesn't give a shit.
If you're a first-year manager like Ron Washington is, now I know Ron Washington was a manager in Texas before, but if you're a first-year manager, is that the fucking first thing you want to do when you walk into spring training? No.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Just go away. Take your money because you're paid. Go away.
Yeah. And if you think that stuff, keep thinking it, but don't fucking say it in an interview. What are you doing, man? You got to be smarter than that.
He even said, I think, to whoever was interviewing him, I don't want to be talking to you guys at 7:00 in the morning. Fuck are you? Yeah. It's your job. Professional.
Yeah. Okay, you've got 3 years left to collect $120 million. Can you just smile and wait? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Jimmy Dugan. Yeah. Wave your hat. And
yeah, it's I wish the owner would come out and be like, you know what? I really don't feel like paying you the next 3 years either. So,
yeah, that would be amazing.
I don't feel like writing your checks. Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
You don't feel like paying. You don't feel like playing. I don't feel like paying. So, maybe we just cut ties since you're so vocal about it and won't shut the hell up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it sucks. Obviously, there's been some terrible contracts. We were talking in our group chat earlier. Somebody brought up Chris Davis, but at least Chris Davis, pissed at himself. He was trying as hard as he could.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't get back to where he was. at least, you respect a guy for, giving it his all and he just doesn't have it anymore. I can't respect the guy who's clearly just not giving it 100%. I can't.
I can't imagine being his teammate. I can't.
Yeah.
Imagine being the guy turning two with him. I'm not. I don't want to catch the ball you throw me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's every error, it's every time he's hurt and can't play a game. It's going to start coming down to every little thing that happens. That his teammates, coaches, owners going to be like, okay, well, is this because it's actually that, or does he just not give a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, you guys have anything from the weekend or anything you guys want to talk about before we wrap this up?
No. I'm good. Shout out to you guys. It's a good job. I think we're coming along a little bit better. Starting to get our feel.
Also, we got some merch. Got some merch might be hitting here soon. So if you're in the market, let us know. We'll try to send some photos or something like that out on Instagram and let us know if it's something you like. We'll probably get some polls going to see what everybody likes the most and stuff like that.
Yeah, the hats are going to move for sure. The shirts are going to be great. Once we get a shirt on Delaware Dave and Sean Foy, those two big shirts, they'll move because those two guys are studs. So yeah, looking forward to the merch. And then we got Tim Mayza coming on a little bit later today, and we'll talk some baseball with him. Brooks and I got a couple good questions for him. Dusty's unfortunately got to work tonight. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, if you guys are interested in hearing from a professional baseball player's perspective, we got one coming on the show. I don't know if it's going to be a part 2, if it's going to be a whole nother thing. We'll figure that out, but that'll be coming as soon as we can get it out. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there for this one, but, if you were able to get him back on later in the season, any other guests, we're going to be there as much as we can.
Yeah. Do we have Drew coming on, Drew Burton, or is that a hard no?
Yep, he's coming on. I mean, as far as I know, he's coming on tonight.
We have the president of St. Gerard's, Drew Burton, sexy son of a bitch, coming on a little bit later. Well,
which will be good because he knows Timmy too. So,
absolutely. So, if you guys are interested in that, look out for that. And we'll see you next week. Same time.
See you next week. Spring Vice time, boys. See you.
What's up, dude?
There he is. What's going on?
How you doing, buddy? What hat is that?
Agency. Yeah. We soundproof, right? What you got going on there?
No, it's just my office. Home office.
Okay. All right. So,
where are you at? You got a nice little apartment down there or something?
Like a VRBO. So, yeah. Actually not bad. We kind of just bounce around year to year. Some guys stay at the beach, but traffic is brutal. So,
yeah.
A lot of guys try to stay I'd say majority of guys are 10, 15 minutes from the field. So, but you a podcast guy now.
This was just something fun. I mean, we're both mostly doing Baltimore sports and stuff. And we were like, all right, a couple buddies, and my brother usually is on here too, but he's working tonight. So we're just like, yeah. So we're like, you know what? If anything, it'll just be a good time. Hang out.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
For sure.
Let me make a drink real quick. Brooks, how you feeling, buddy?
Yeah, what about you? Hey.
Great. I got some kind of stomach bug. I got whatever Tiger has. I've been throwing up and shitting myself all day. I got I got aches and everything else.
Tiger.
At least he's not hurt. At least it was just sickness.
Yeah. Still, it seems like it's something every tournament.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be. He's playing on one leg and half a back and no knees.
Yeah.
Guy should be freaking dead by now.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Fuck it. Roke's got a little White House bottle of Woodford today. It's got like a emblem on it. You can't even see that shit.
Oh, yeah, I can see it. How'd you get it from like
Dan McManus, Secret Service guy, just retired.
Steve Drew's joining us tonight. You remember Drew, don't you, Tim? My buddy Drew.
Maybe probably cross paths somewhere.
Yeah.
Tim, you got a baby. By the way, Tim, I'm Brian, by the way, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, you got a baby, right?
I got 2 boys.
Two
So I got
boys?
3. Yeah, 3 and 1.
What are their names?
Yeah. Everett and Graham.
Cool.
So we're in the thick of it.
And there's
They're all staying down there with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're with me, and then spring training's the best schedule, I would say, for the season. If you're not pitching, you're usually home by like 2. But I mean, the mornings start pretty early. Like I'm usually out of the house like by 6:30, and then home by 2. So a lot of the times it's better for families for spring training. Plus the weather's nice, but during the season they'll kind of bounce back and forth.
Are you guys still in Dunedin?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they just built a new stadium, or they renovated the whole stadium like maybe 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
They did, and then they're completing. It was a 2-part project in Toronto to do renovations. They gutted pretty much the entire inside, and it was like 2 phases. Phase 1 was last year, and then phase 2 will be done this year for us. So it'll be sweet. It'll be a sweet place.
Yeah, because I mean, when we were down there, however many years ago it was, 6, 7 years ago, it was like going to fucking Cuba. And it was like cinder blocks and cage fencing. That's the first time I saw you pitching. I think you had just come up or just got the invite to spring training.
Yeah.
A while back. Our buddy Chris Merrick, who played baseball at St. Louis University. Yeah. We saw you in the pen. We stayed for 3 pitched outs because the ballpark was such shit.
Yeah. They did. It's a better venue now. They created like a concourse so you could walk all the way around the stadium. Like 3 years ago, it was just pretty much down the lines and behind the plate. Like you couldn't get to the bullpen or you couldn't see anybody. So now it's better. It's better right now.
Well, sure.
Yeah, they kind of did, like Philly has like that tiki bar in left field. So kind of like did something similar, but in right center in Dunedin where it like overlooks our bullpen. So you'll get some spring breakers and stuff every once in a while. But
my real question is Bowser's still there?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's still there. They still offer, I think it's if you park, you get a free drink, something like that. Like that's how they try to get you.
I know we went with your ticket. You got like 2 free Rolling Rocks or 2 Rolling Rock pounds.
Yeah.
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 It's awesome.
And now it's like, oh, if you spend $20 and park with us, you get like a free drink. Yeah.
I remember the bathroom was so disgusting that I didn't even want to. I lost the urge to piss. Like I was like, I'm not peeing here.
Yeah. Yeah. There's there, and then there's another one that's like similar. It's called Skips, like right on the corner downtown Bunny, and they're both very divey, like bars, like places that you could go in for a drink, but other than that, I wouldn't like want to stay too long.
Drew,
What's he texting us right now? Because I'm seeing my phone blow up here.
like, are you joining? He said not working. I resent him the link again. He goes, "Is the meeting ID right? I'm on Zoom." I said, "Just click the link. It'll just launch." What are you?
An ass clown.
How does this guy have a professional career and not know how to use Zoom?
You should sell like isotoners. I don't know how he sells finance.
How's everything back in PA? Jeez. Jesse was trying to call me at 11 o'clock. And I was like, dude, I'm sleeping. When you guys were all together.
Oh yeah. That was fun. I guess Bob's in-laws have a place in the Poconos, so we ran it for a weekend and just went up there. But having a kid has not slowed him down. No, it was fun. And then Mark's having a kid here in a couple months.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then Miles hit me up maybe a month ago, because I guess the new company he works for does stuff in MLB. And I think the Blue Jays are one of the few teams that doesn't use like the product that he works for. So he wanted to see if because we got a new travel guy, and I think that's where it's most useful, is in like setting up travel and scheduling travel. So I think he was hoping that I could get in with the travel guy. It's just like the new travel guy basically was the old media guy, and now he just gets thrown into this like role where being the travel coordinator for Toronto is just miserable, because not only are you dealing with travel, but you're dealing with the border and customs as well. Yeah. So it's like double the work than usual. And he's just kind of like learning on the job. So I'm sure I'll give him like another week, but I'm sure he's pretty overwhelmed. But
do you become a citizen after a certain amount of time?
No.
I don't know how that
you get like we get a tax ID, like a Canadian social security number, essentially.
Yeah.
Because we get taxed like everywhere we play, we pay taxes. Like our W-2s are a nightmare. So, but no, that's the only thing I know of, is you get your work permit and then you get a tax ID that gets you to pay taxes.
I guess to play 80, you're gonna play 82 games. You're gonna play 81 games.
81 games.
81 games.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna play 81 games all over the goddamn country in the US.
Yeah.
I guess that's why it makes sense why people go to Texas and Florida.
Yeah. There's one guy on our team. He's like, I've hit the 3 top tax places in MLB. He's like, I was in Oakland, then I was in New York with the Mets, and now I'm here. It's like the top 3 places that you get taxed. No, Texas is popular because of that. Florida, obviously, and Seattle. Like, people sign in Seattle for that as well. The only thing with Seattle is like you get stuck. Like, that's the furthest travel you're gonna have.
Is Drew coming on as fucking Mr. President? What a fucking asshat.
Drew, you don't get to come on as Mr. President when you can't figure out how to use Zoom.
It is. I mean, it is President's Day. I wanted to celebrate myself. Sorry, guys. I was on Teams.
I respect 20 Powers jersey.
Sorry, I was on Teams. I do love the
I had a timeless artist seduction behind me earlier today in our first one. So the Kenny Powers one trumps that for sure.
And a Blinken.
Yeah. Again, President's Day. Here for the calls.
Awesome.
Big time Timmy Jim. What's up, man? It's been a while.
Something new. Yeah.
Where's Dusty?
Word.
Yeah.
Somebody's
All right, Dustless podcast here then.
Brooks, you want to start this off?
Sure. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture podcast. I don't know if Tim knows who Gary Williams is, but he's the old Maryland coach, basketball coach. Today we got Tim Mayza on, one of my old college teammates. Now pitches for the Toronto Blue Jays. So we're going to have him in for the start of spring training as a celebratory start of spring training officially, that we can actually talk to somebody who's going through it and on everything. So Brian, I'll let you take away a couple. I mean, we already wasted a couple good questions, but I'll let you take away the first couple.
Well, actually, I mean, I don't really know Tim like you. I don't know Tim.
Or if
like
Tim,
you
yeah,
guys
if
do.
you want to give us a little background,
Yeah.
where are you from? Where'd you go to
yeah.
high school?
Got a couple personality questions after Tim introduces himself, so we're gonna put Tim on the spot. I'm not giving him any preface to these questions.
Yeah, for sure. So, as Brooks mentioned, Tim Mayza, current relief pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. Born and raised in Pennsylvania. Still live there. Grew up about an hour northeast of Philadelphia. After college, stayed in the Lancaster area. I actually went to college at Millersville with Brooks, and then was drafted in 2013. Debuted in 2017. And the rest is kind of history. Still doing it. Still slinging it. So fortunate to do that. And it's pretty awesome. So we're about to get rolling. First full team workouts are tomorrow. So pitchers and catchers reported about a week ago, and then first full squad workout tomorrow. So the excitement begins, and games start at the end of the week. So it's getting close, and it'll be fun.
Well, Tim, I want to say first off, man, thank you for saying Lancaster the appropriate way, because my girlfriend says Lancaster, and it's one fucking word.
Yeah.
Personality questions to get this started. What's your favorite form of potato?
Favorite form of potato?
Yeah.
I'll be specific, like sweet potato fries.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, if I'm at a place and they serve sweet potato fries, that's usually what I'm getting.
Are we getting the dipping sauce with it? The sweet dipping sauce?
No, just give me the fries and I'll be good.
But I'm gonna go a little more specific. Is it regular fries or you want waffle fries? I mean,
there's a barbecue spot down here that serves them waffle fries, and it's a sweet potato waffle fry, and those things are delicious. So yeah, we could get specific. I'll go waffle fry if I had to have a choice.
Perfect. All right, good. Because I don't know you. We're meeting for the first time, but Drew, myself, and Brooks know each other really well, along with Dusty when he's normally on here. So we want to get everyone acclimated to you. Favorite chain restaurant that doesn't have a drive-through?
That doesn't have a drive-through. Oh,
We're talking like Applebee's, something like that.
Yeah, like an Applebee's. Like mine would be Texas Roadhouse.
okay, all right. See, when I think of like those places, it's like a Panera Bread.
Bang on, it's fine.
So yeah, we'll go with Panera Bread. I know it's not like your sit down, but I consider it like somewhat fast food. And I don't know. I think some now may have drive-throughs. I don't know, but
There's a
think
couple.
some-
Tim's a big
Yeah,
breakfast guy. You probably
I
have a
am.
good breakfast chain.
I am. No. Just like your standard like breakfast sandwich. I mean, to be honest, Baltimore is my favorite spot to visit when it comes to breakfast spots.
Where are you going?
Where you going?
So Miss Shirley's is a go-to.
Yeah.
It's down by
Cool.
the harbor there. Yeah, because we stay on the harbor, so Miss Shirley's is down there. Blue Moon Cafe is a popular one.
Awesome.
For guys.
The spot. That's my spot.
Yeah,
That's my favorite.
yeah.
It's down to
Yeah,
Felton. Great spot.
Yeah, so we always hit up those two spots, and then I think there's like a cafe called I believe it's called like Ovenberg Cafe. It's like a small, just like hole in the wall that I like ran into one day just wandering around.
That might be.
I think that's what it's called though.
Federal Hill, maybe.
I'm not sure about that one.
yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, but no, Blue Moon Cafe is always like hey, we're in town, we're hitting that up probably the first day, second day Miss Shirley's, and then for a day game, if I'm feeling like walking around, I'll hit up the Ovenberg Cafe and get a coffee and maybe a scone, and then get to the bus.
Ovenberg. You know what? I think that's in Federal Hill. I think it's on Charles Street or Light Street. Boys. I think I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's
I
what.
think it actually spelled BRD instead of actual BIRD. Well, either way, those are personality questions. Does Kevin Gossam still eat donuts every day?
No. I haven't seen them. I mean, if they're there, maybe I mean, if they're there, probably, but I haven't seen them like bring donuts in every day and eat them. Um, definitely not like an abnormal amount where I'm like, man, this guy just crushes donuts. So I would say no. I don't know if that was something he did in the past, and now he's kind of like. But I mean, majority of our games are night games, so maybe he has a donut in the morning at his place, and I just don't know it. But yeah,
That was his MO at LSU. He would always eat powdered donut holes or like Munchkins or whatever. Always eat powdered donuts.
He did that with the O's too in his first couple of years. I knew that was definitely a thing.
Maybe somebody sat him down and said, "Hey, you got to chill on the powdered donuts."
Well, somebody probably sat him down. I was like, "You need to gain some weight, so start eating these freaking." He was like a stick when he first came in the Orioles.
All right, we'll get to baseball now that we got this side of the way.
Yeah.
What's your welcome to the show moment? Like, holy shit, I'm in the major leagues.
Yeah. So I got super lucky in my first road trip because it was to Wrigley and that was in 2017 and we haven't been back yet and we'll be back again this year. So, I got to go there as like my first road trip. And yeah, I got my welcome to the show when Javi Baez hit a home run that I think was close to just leaving the stadium. And I was like, oh man, well, can't get away with these pitchings to some of these guys. And because it was like a Saturday afternoon game, the place just erupted. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess the fans like me here. But yeah. When I think of welcome, I think it's kind of like, okay, well, here you go, kid. Like a little humbling moment. So that was it.
Would you rather give up a home run that just leaves the yard or goes out of the park?
I think the one that just leaves. Because maybe I'll feel better about myself. Like like he like just got that out. But yeah.
Have you had one that you didn't turn around on? Like you just knew it. You're like, fuck it, it's over, it's gone.
Judge's homer when was it 60 or 61 that I gave up.
Yes.
The one that tied the record. That one was no doubt. I was like, okay, yep, that's it. And then I gave up all.
I almost texted you after that, and I was like, I can't. I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, right? He's gonna be a part of history forever.
Part of
But I was
history,
like,
yeah.
he doesn't want to be a part of that part of history. I was like, I'm gonna let that one. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
I think Brooke actually texted the baseball group chat that we're all on to him and was like, do I text him or do I not text him? Like, leave him alone. Like, leave him the man alone.
I was sitting there for like the next week because it was towards the end of the season. I'm like, somebody please just do it. Yes. Just
Somebody
serve it up.
acknowledge it. Somebody acknowledge it.
And then like the guy who gave up the next one, he was like a former teammate of mine. Like we played together in rookie ball. So that's a tough rookie ball team there. Like you give up the game and the tying and then the historic one. But no, I was talking to people and they'd be like, yeah, we were watching Grey's Anatomy and in the lower right-hand corner, whenever he came up. So we saw it. I'm like, if you're not even paying attention, like I don't need these channels having Grey's Anatomy and then split screen it with Judge at bat.
They just made you real famous on
Your name on every bottom line on every channel.
My last question I have for Tim that's baseball oriented that I had already pre-written down. What was Brooks' worst pitch, Tim, in college? What was the pitch?
According to John Sheehan, our coach, all
yeah.
His worst pitch, like sinker. I don't even know what pitches Brooks had in the arsenal, but what was his worst one?
a ball.
Yeah.
I was notorious for like walking hitters and making shit harder on myself than it needed to be for sure.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, we're going back a ways.
Brooks, what was in your
Oh.
arsenal? What did you have? What did you have? I mean,
Like I remember
Um,
Brooks had he had like a kind of a bigger breaking ball, right?
Yeah, so I had like 4-seam, 2-seam. My 4-seam would cut. 2-seam would, God knows what it would do. It's supposed to, it's supposed to
It would
tail,
go over the fence.
supposed to tail for
Yeah.
me, but sometimes I'd just like come over top of it too much and it would cut right down the fucking dick. And then change up, slider, curveball. Slider
Yeah.
was more my out pitch most
I
of the
remember
time.
Yeah.
slider being your best pitch, definitely.
Yeah.
Just depending on what was working that day.
I
I
remember.
mean, what was it? Brooks, like he went on a scoreless streak, right? Like, didn't you hold that record for a little
For
bit?
a couple weeks.
Sorry.
Yeah, I had the scoreless innings streak, like consecutive scoreless innings, and then I gave it up, and then the guy who has been injured with Tommy John for like a year and a half comes out and like continued from 2 years ago and breaks it like a week later. It
Yeah.
was short lived, and then Mayza got to beat all my other ones.
Brooks
But also has the record for most runs given up in a single inning in high school at
Pretty
Aptos.
Pretty close.
What was it, like 3 or 4 home runs? I definitely remember.
One was a grand slam.
It was almost a home run cycle in one inning. They would, as the guys were running,
They
the
hung me out to
bases-
dry on that one.
Yeah, as the guys were running the bases, they would play U2's "The Streets Have No Name." And I'm pretty sure they got through the song.
Like a 7-minute song.
Oh man.
California teams are no joke, guys.
Oh,
Yeah, I got a video that I want to show of Tim.
Sure.
Honestly,
Perfect.
it's fucking awesome. By the way. Where
to say
is
Tim's heart skipped a beat for a second.
I know.
nothing
What-
bad? Nothing
You wearing
bad.
clothes?
And I'm like, where are we going with that?
Oh, yeah. Just no videos of me. That's my deal here.
Nothing bad, I promise. That's gonna let me. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is Tim's little boy Everett.
Oh,
Oh,
He got to throw
Yeah.
out the first pitch last year, and
that's awesome.
him and like the other kid came out, one of the other bullpen guys, and Everett was like, the other kid goes like halfway to a quarter out, and Everett's like, no, I'm going all the way to the freaking mound, and Tim's like, no, you got to come back.
Yeah. He kind of broke the internet with this, but
Yeah. This is awesome.
yeah.
Everett's like, I'm doing it like Daddy does.
That's great.
Yep.
Tim, how is with all the Otani rumors that were happening over
Yeah.
off season? How did the team or some of your teammates, did you guys talk about that? Were there any internal organizational conversations that were had? I don't know how involved you are.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because not funny. I mean, we were tracking it, but there was a handful of us together when all that stuff was going down. We were at Alex Manoah's wedding, kind of all together, and we were like, oh man, like apparently Otani's on a jet to Toronto, or like Otani thing. We knew he kind of took a visit to Dunedin, but no, I mean, we were following it, and there was definitely a buzz about it. I don't know how close. It's hard to tell like how close the Jays were. Like I like to think that we were competitive in the race and in the run to get him. You just don't know like what was going through his mind, or kind of was he playing the game of trying to get somebody to bid higher? I don't know. And it's hard to tell, but it was exciting there for those couple days that you thought you were getting him. But there's been zero talk down here at spring of him. Just you kind of go on and no Otani talk anymore. There was definitely a lot for those 2 days that there was some buzz that we might get him, but none right now at camp. It's kind of just focusing on the day to day, and in spring training, you're just so busy that you're worried about getting your work in and focus on getting ready for the season that you don't really have a whole lot of time for the outside distractions of oh, well, we didn't get Otani, so what are we going to do this year? It's like, hey, how are we going to compete and how are we going to win as many games as possible?
True.
Have you faced him yet?
Yeah. He got me. I gave a homer to him, but I got him out a few times. But yeah, he got me once, and then there are times I got brought in. I got saved against him. I got brought in base loaded, tying run on third, and got him to ground out. So that was pretty cool. I was fired up about that.
I remember that dude's gonna get everybody at some point. It seems like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something you're going to tell your grandkids about that. That's still pretty cool.
Yeah, at least he got me, Oppo. Made him beat me in the other way. So, but that team is incredible. Like when you think of having Trout and him on the same team, and I've always said that if Otani is even above average at both, pitching and hitting, like he's the MVP every year. There's just nobody. There's nobody like him. Like who can do both at that kind of level.
It almost seems, and you please anybody disagree with me, it almost seems like he's so good, we're going to get used and comfortable to him being that good that we're not going to give him the MVP coming forward because we want a different story, want a different narrative. Name that person that will take over that role because he's good.
I think the MLB wants him to be the MVP every year. I mean, I think they'll go out of their way just to try to give it to him just because he grows the game. I mean, he's brought in so much revenue from over in Asia. Like it's nuts. Like he's his own business and I mean, the Dodgers knew what they were doing. They're buying a business at this point. He's going to bring so much revenue to that team just by him being on the team. So,
and that was one of the reasons that I think Toronto was really in the race is that Toronto, being owned by the Rogers Company Corporation, LLC, whatever the hell they are, they wanted to get into the Asian market. And he would have been their like forward facing person. So his contract basically would have been paid off in, I think they're a communications company in, them selling whatever communications devices they sell.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess if there's a year for him not to win the MVP and he might still do it just hitting, it would be this year because I don't know how much he's going to pitch.
No, I think they said he's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like he has a microphone on his fucking bat when he hits the ball. It's that loud. It's a different sound. And I mean, Tim, obviously you're right there. It just seems like a different noise.
Yeah. He's just all around great. He's a great player. And the thing you also gotta acknowledge is like, if he hits on the ground, he might beat it out. Like he just like that fast as well that, a chopper to the infield, he might beat out for a single. Which I guess is like best case scenario when you consider the other possibilities. But he's just one of a kind, definitely unique. And I guess, everybody kind of needs to appreciate it because who knows if there's ever going to be another one like him. But yeah, definitely a special player.
What do you think? I mean, do you think this is the evolution of the game where you're going to have now, I mean, you're the best player on your high school team is the shortstop and the best pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
You think you're going to see this now where you're going to have hitters and pitchers, like an Otani, where you have someone that does both things?
I don't know if it's because there's been guys who have tried to do both, and they just like, I don't know if they're not given the shot or it's just like, hey, this is you're pretty average at both. Let's choose one and become above average.
Yeah,
but I think like
they're like, yeah, maybe you should stop switching. Let's focus on hitting whatever.
Yeah. Because I think the Rays drafted a guy who was a 2-way, and he, like a while ago, and he's I think become just a pitcher now. So yeah, I think this is definitely unique. I don't see this being like a norm that you see it all the time. I think, he's just that special of a player that he can do both. I don't see it. I don't see it becoming a norm, or I definitely don't know if you see a guy who can do both at his level. That's for sure.
I mean, I remember Mad Bum. Mad Bum was sitting Madison Bumgarner. Was I think he hit like 6 home runs in one year with like 100, like maybe like 80 at bats or something like that. Something stupid.
Yeah, like Mike Hampton had that one year where he had like 10, I think.
Who would want to pitch a home run derby right now? If you take Otani out of it, probably got
I don't know. Like, I hear stories of Greinke. Like, I guess Greinke was a really good shortstop. I don't know how he would be as a hitter, but I hear like athleticism wise that he could play the shortstop in pro ball and be fine and be good. So, but man, I don't know. Like, pitchers just don't hit anymore. You like this DH, like nobody hits, so you just wouldn't even know. And
I was going to ask, when was the last time you took BP?
I bunted in like 2018. Like, I just took a bunting practice because we were going to play a National League team. So they're like, hey, you might need to bunt. I'm like, okay.
He's like, nah, I'm a one inning guy.
But actual BP, not since college.
Pitchers beeps.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I wanted to pivot a little bit and see what you. I don't think I've ever asked you this. Like, how was the minors like after you got drafted? And I guess you spent like 3.5, 4 years down there. How did that
Yeah.
all go? I mean, they just basically said, "Hey, here's your signing bonus. Be down at rookie ball for spring training or something like that, or the developmental league, and we'll go from there."
Yeah. So I got drafted in June, and a week after that, flew down to Florida, and was in the GCL, and then got promoted to Bluefield to finish the year for maybe the last like 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, my first 2 years of pro ball were just horrible, like performance wise, like just awful. I had a 7 through 2 years of pro ball. Like, the transition was just awful. And I don't know if it was a whole lot about stuff, but I think it was more about, trust. And I don't know if I felt like physically I was prepared, but I don't know if mentally I was prepared to go to the pro game and experience like those guys. And so first 2 years were like just getting your butt whooped, really. And I actually left after my second season, and they're like, "Hey man, like spring training, like you got to show us something, or you're kind of on the chopping block. Like this, you've had 2 really rough years, and it just can't go on." So kind of revamped some things, delivery wise, stuff wise, and then came in just like it was kind of like do or die. So I just let it rip for all of spring training. I'm like, well, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down just seeing how hard I can throw, basically, and it kind of worked out. And
That's when
so
you developed a 2-seamer then, right?
No, the two seam didn't come until I got up to the big leagues. So I was 4-seaming. The slider was what came along like really good in 2015.
I'm going to ask you about that because me and you worked on that for a while in college, trying to figure out some kind of breaking ball besides a changeup.
Yeah, I'm still working on a breaking ball, but
How often are you playing with grips and tweaking your stuff, or are you trying to hone in on what you have and you're constantly kind of playing around with?
yeah, I am what I am right now, and it's more so being able to locate it, getting consistent shape, consistent location. Like, I'll evolve and use certain pitches in different locations, but in terms of adding a pitch, I would have to be really convinced that it was going to be something that would match my arsenal and really open up other opportunities for me to buy in on a wholesale like new pitch change or something like that. I don't mind tinkering and catch and stuff, but right now it's more so I am what I am, and it's like, how can we now nail down everything and be able to locate two pitches at any point in different locations. So that's kind of where we are now. But back then I was just a four seam slider guy. I kind of worked my way up the minors and 15 wins and low A, 16 high A, double A, and then back down to high A to finish the season, and then 17 double A, triple A, and debuted then. But double A was like tough. Like low A and high A, I kind of got away with stuff. I felt a lot like my velo spiked those years, so I think I was able to get away with some more stuff. And then in double A, I struggled pretty good. And in 17, I was in somewhat of a closer's role, which I don't know if I was really cut out for at that point. And so there was like back and forth between like pitching earlier in games, and then there was sometimes I would try to come in and close games, and I didn't have to do that in AAA. I kind of just like took off then. But the two seam came into play in 2019, just because that's when tech kind of like evolved too, like all the technology in baseball now with, you could throw a pitch, turn around and know exactly how it moved in the exact location. Like you didn't have that in, 2017 or
just asking your
prior
catcher.
to that. Yeah. Like, hey, did it do anything or where was it? So now you actually have proof. And in 19, I had proof that the four seam just was not getting positive results like I needed to. And so I got up and then I had to adapt to the game in the major leagues. And part of that was figuring out a fastball that had some movement, that I could generate some more weak contact and swing and miss. And just started throwing a two seam one day and felt like from visually when I was throwing it, I was like, oh, that's got some good action. Let's see what it can do. And started just throwing an arm side, and now it's evolved to I think surgery, I was able to really hone in on my delivery, my stuff, and being able to locate on both sides, because the rehab process is so tedious and so long that you have so much time to dive in and figure out what makes you good and how to improve on what you already have.
Yeah, and so like a little timeline for Tim. Like I think Tim, when he came in as a freshman when we were in college, he was throwing like 80, 82. By the time the season came around, Tim's probably averaging like 90, 91, somewhere around there. And then I think my senior year, your sophomore year, you were consistently low to mid 90s or something like that. And then I think after you got drafted, you said when you had that spike, you were running it up to like 99, I think, or something like that. No, 100.
I hit 8. That's the highest I've gotten to. But when I got the spike, I was like 4 to 6, hitting 7s. And so eight's my top. But yeah, it's kind of been a progression.
Do you feel after the surgery you've dropped off a little bit or no?
Maybe a little bit. I think the top end, I don't get to the top end as much. And I also look back and I'm just like throwing a lot more appearances, where I feel sometimes in those days when, and the velo sometimes throughout the season will fluctuate, where I'll be days where I'll be 94, 96, and then there'll be days where I'm like 91, 93, hitting 94. And I just feel like it kind of fluctuates based off workload, how many innings you've thrown, how many appearances you've had, and kind of other like stuff like that. But in the minors, you're on a pretty strict schedule where you're throwing maybe once every 3 days. So you get all this time to recover. And then when you just go out, it's kind of like you're fully recovered and you feel good, where, when I got called up, that was probably one of the bigger adjustments, is just like how to modify workload. So I'm prepared to pitch every night. Because in the minors, you have other guys and everybody's getting innings and everybody's getting work. And sometimes it's not really a whole lot about wins and losses, even though everybody wants to win. In the minors, it's more like, okay, we got to get this guy in for development reasons, and he's working on X pitch and he has to throw 50% of the time. So the results may not look great.
That makes total sense. I got a question. Might be a 2-part question. How much do you focus on analytics, and how much do other players that you talk to focus on analytics, and do you enjoy them? It's a three-parter right there.
Yeah. It depends who you talk to. I enjoy kind of taking the dive in and, I'll do scouting reports kind of on my own, day one of every series, and just, I dive into the analytics in that sense. I'm just looking at, how to attack guys and where guys' weaknesses are compared to okay, if you throw this pitch, these are his exit velos there. If you throw this pitch, he swings and misses this percent of the time. Right now in spring, I probably use them the most for myself. From a pitch design standpoint, in bullpens, we have the TrackMan up. So I'm getting instant feedback on what shapes of pitches are and where the location is. And you're kind of working with catchers on where to set up in order to land certain pitches and get certain pitches in those areas and those spots that you want to hit. So I use it a lot in spring. The younger guys use it a lot more than the older guys. But you'll get some older guys and they're like, yeah, I know when it's good. Like I can see when it's good. I can see when I hit a spot. I think the new age guys, it's all about stuff. And you're almost out stuffing guys. So you're trying to, there's a lot of just like turn around. All right, what were the numbers on that throw? Instead of kind of getting in a rhythm of the bullpen and then going from there, and then using, a handful of pitches, throw 5 pitches, turn around, see what it's doing, and then throw another 5. So the older guys, the guys who, I guess the seasoned vets in the group, don't rely on it as much because I think they have trust in what they're doing and they know what makes them successful. Whereas some of the younger guys, and I was there too, are trying to figure out is this pitch good based off ball data and based off of the way it's moving versus other pitches.
That's good. That's good to hear because you hear everything on TV about some people like it, some people hate it. Now it's the old school guys don't like some of the new shit.
Yeah,
that's how it is. Pardon me for being a novice on this one, but how did the pitch clock affect you? Given I don't believe you dealt with it in the minors. Maybe you did, and I'm just dumb here. But did you deal with it in the minors? And if so, or if you didn't, how did it affect you in the major leagues?
Yeah, I used it. So they were in an experimental phase when I was in high A. So, but it wasn't enforced until the second half of the season. I think it was there, and you were aware of it, but the umpire wasn't calling you for being late on the pitch clock.
Well,
the first 2 to 3 appearances in spring last year were kind of it took to get used to the clock and okay, how much time do I have? And you were almost caught speed pitching, you had more time than what you thought you had. A lot of guys felt, but once you got into the rhythm of things and once you got into just kind of it's there and where all the clocks are located so you can look. It really didn't matter a whole lot when the season rolled around. All the kinks were kind of figured out in spring training. And so, but this year I think it's down 2 more seconds. I think they cut.
Okay.
So, we'll see what the game speed's like. But yeah, I mean, they're making rule changes. And yeah, I think the pitch clock is the one thing that guys are it's good. We don't mind the pitch clock. Some of the other stuff no shifts, I'm a little biased to it being left-handed. I'm like, okay, so a lefty can't hit the ball the other way. So we'll just make a rule that opens up a hole on the right side of the infield. But I mean, I think it's promoting more action. You got to make decisions quicker. And I think that's where it comes into play. You're calling pitches quick. If it weren't for the pitch comm and being able to communicate with pressing buttons and me hearing it and having to do the traditional sign system, I don't think the clock would be as effective. But having the pitch comm, it speeds it up because he can call the pitch as as soon as he throws the ball back to me, I'm getting the pitch in the air and we're going. So if it weren't for PitchCom, the pitch clock I don't think would be as successful as it has been and as popular.
And as a lefty, how do the new like speed up rules affect how you're throwing over? Is it like predetermined you're going to throw over X pitch, or you just kind of go off feel?
Yeah, so you only get 3, they call them 3 disengagements. So if you step off, that's 1. If you pick off, that's 2. And now you can't step off or pick off without getting them out, or they get second base or whatever base they're at, they advance. A lot of it is, some of it's based off feel. Some of it comes from the bench. But you have to control the running game just kind of on your own. It's a point of emphasis right now. It's in our bullpens, we're mixing in slide steps, we're mixing in holds. So we like to emphasize it just because the game is fast and they are promoting stolen bases a lot more. With some of the, they're going to put an emphasis on guys blocking the base, and this year. So I think that'll promote guys to run even more. So
I think you
we'll
guys
see.
are probably still trying to figure it out too, like what the game is inside of that. I would assume, because I still haven't figured it out yet. To figure out what the right system is for that. Like Drew was saying.
Yeah.
Definitely an advantage to the runner. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the guys who could already run are going to run more. So it's one of those things. The guys who don't run are still not going to run for the most part, but the guys who have the ability to steal bases are just more valuable because they're going to run and they're going to get a lot of stolen bases.
Yeah, or the guys who don't steal as much are going to be able to pick their spot a lot easier to be. I mean, just because they know you pretty much have to go home or you have to go over or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But PitchCom, what is it saying? Like, is it just like a vibrate? Like one vibrate is a fastball, 2 vibrates are a curveball, or is it actually like saying something to you?
No, it's pretty much like a default saying. So it's saying the pitch to you.
Okay.
And then, yeah. Yep.
Have you been in
I
a
actually really
situation
like
where
it.
you can't hear?
Yeah. 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 And then you're kind of just, as you go in, you have the ability to turn it up, turn it down. And then playoffs, we had like a device that came down. It was like almost like a small tube that came down, and then that's supposed to amplify the sound.
Gotcha.
Secrets. You
But
got
there's like some quiet
agents.
Yeah, some quiet places. You gotta worry, like, man, is the hitter here? That's
I'm gonna go off. Who would win in a fight, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. or Pablo Sandoval?
I don't know Sandoval. I know Vlad is. I mean, he's as nice as they come. So I think Vlad's more of a lover, not a fighter. So I'll probably pick Sandoval. Just because I know Vlad's personality a little better.
Really, it should be
met his dad?
Vogelbach. It should be Vogelbach.
Oh,
It's Vogelbach and versus Panda.
Yeah. But I don't know either of those guys, so I couldn't even give you, an accurate.
Have you met Vlad's dad?
Yeah. On his debut, he came through and I met him. I said hi. There wasn't a whole lot of exchange of words other than that. But
I don't think he speaks much English.
Yeah. But no, like, Bichette's dad and Biggio's dads, they've had conversations and they're awesome guys.
Yeah. It's got to be really cool. I mean, just kind of a comment. It's got to be really cool just having three guys in your squad that have dads that are like that. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And also they come from backgrounds, and something that we talked about on previous podcasts is, lineage, with families, that's got to be so nice. People that know how to and be around the game and how to be a big leaguer. And because they learned it from their fathers, that's got to be so nice.
Yeah. And you see it, and you talk to some guys and they're just like, yeah, it's almost like I've been here my whole life. kind of in a clubhouse. Like I was born in a clubhouse, so I know what to do, what not to do in that. And when you don't have that and you walk into a room, you don't really know how to act, so you just like sit there and it's like don't speak unless spoken to, and kind of like make sure you're not in anybody's way and get in as early as possible. That way you're not in the vet's way. But I think with those three guys, they were so comfortable walking into a clubhouse that it was just like another game to them. Like, this is where I belong. I was born here. Kind of like it. I understand the clubhouse, do's and don'ts. And so I think for them, you see them in transition, climbing up the ladder and getting to the big leagues. It was like they already knew what to expect when they got there. It was just now their moment instead of their dad's.
It's cool.
Going off that, because you're in a much different situation. Like, how long did it take for you to feel comfortable and, you to have that feeling in the bigs?
Yeah. When I first got called up, there was a lot. It was just off the heels of 15 and 16 when they were great playoff teams. And, I get called up and they were still in the hunt, but
yeah. God damn it. Jose Bautista, mother.
But, yeah, so you have those kind of guys in the clubhouse, the Donaldsons, the Martins, the Batistans, the Encarnaciones.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of like, all right, stay out of their way, just like do what you need to do and stay out of the way. But, over time, as you get more time and you would naturally get comfortable. And I think it's with any situation. It's just like, I felt the same way kind of in college. That like the guys were great. They made me feel welcome, but there's a little bit of a breaking in period in college too, where you're learning the ropes and you're learning what to do. You're learning what not to do. You're learning how to handle yourself on a day to day. And similar to that, it took a little while to, understand the organization and understand, what the guys do on a day to day and how to act and how to operate and how to get yourself ready for a game. Because once you get up there, it's about winning, no longer development. It's okay. You got to help us win today. It's not like, oh, go out there and throw your 50% sliders because you develop it. It's no, you got to get outs and you got to help us win every game.
Yeah, and like once you get there too, you're gonna have some of the other guys be like, all right, I mean, here's a new guy, probably trying to keep their job and looking at you like, all right, this guy's here, I mean, with the potential to take my job. So there's gotta be a little bit of animosity there to begin with before you get a little bit more comfortable with each other.
There's a great.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go for it.
There's a great Blue Jays story that comes from when I'm not going to name the person with the Orioles organization who told us this, but he's a friend of ours. When Rafael Odor punched Jose Bautista, our buddy got a phone call to come down to the clubhouse, and he gets a case of Johnny Walker Blue delivered to him by Adam Jones. And he goes, I'm going to mail this to Arlington, Texas to give it to Rafael Odor because someone did not like Jose Bautista a lot.
Yeah.
Have you seen him without a beard?
No.
Completely different guy. He shaved his beard.
Let me see if I can find a picture of it. He looks like a child.
That's something.
Yeah.
A whole case of Johnny Walker Blue got mailed to Rafael Odor from Adam Jones.
And while he's looking that up, Jim, I was going to say, going off your comment, you had good examples. You had things to learn not to do. I mean, you had Derrick and Forrest, so you knew exactly what not to do in college.
That senior class that was there my freshman year was just like something. They were awesome. So they knew how to make guys comfortable right away. But yeah.
Do you talk to Chaz often?
Not a whole lot there.
There it is. It's Sean Foy.
It's a much skinnier version of Sean Foy.
It's a skinny Sean Foy. With the ears, though. Ears go a little bit.
Who the hell was that?
That's Rugnet Odor.
You're kidding me.
He's a child.
That's a joke, right?
No, I shaved it. Yeah, I saw that the other day.
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully we can have you back a couple more times this year.
Yeah,
I
man.
don't know. I mean, obviously you're gonna have not a lot of free time traveling a lot, but if you can stop by, we'd love to have you and just talk baseball.
What's your own?
Yeah.
What real quick? What's your contract status? I mean, are you on for another year or two?
Oh,
How
he's
much
good.
money do you make before taxes?
I'm,
No,
I'm
you
here-
answer that question, please.
Timmy just got a nice little arb, nice guy,
Yeah.
nice little arb contract. I saw.
Oh, you got you
Yeah.
arbitration.
Yeah, so I've one more year of that, and then I'll
Free agent.
hopefully become a free agent, or we'll see what happens. But no, it's year to year for this year and next year, and then yeah,
And he's coming to the
No.
Orioles.
I was gonna say you look good in orange.
yeah.
Well,
Those guys,
Drew will give you the hat. Drew will give you the hat.
I'll give you the hat. I'll take you out to breakfast. We can go to the Blackbird or whatever it was.
Ovenberg.
Bird, we'll get sweet potato fries and be like, sorry.
It'd be a whole thing.
Yeah.
The Blackbird. Take you to the Blackbird.
What? It sounds like a really bad porn name.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Dude, thanks.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Good seeing you, man.
No, thanks. Yeah, good seeing you guys.
Tell
Hopefully
Darren,
we'll do this again.
tell Darian and the boys hi.
Yeah, we'll do. So awesome. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll definitely do this again. So
Cool,
For
man.
sure.
Thank you, buddy.
See you, buddy.
Yeah. All right. See you.
See you, boys.